Hytale's ex-CEO now officially owns Hypixel Studios and plans to release the game as soon as legally possible. In fact, he already has the Hytale launcher prepared to go, along with the website, name reservation, accounts, and even the payment systems. Almost 7 years exactly from the trailer, and it appears as if Hytale is just about saved. We know all of this because public records were discovered showing that Simon is now the new owner of Hypixel Studios. Specifically, these documents confirm the formation of a new company registered under Simon's full legal name called Hypixel Studios 2025. This confirms to us that he now has the legal rights to use the name Hypixel Studios back from Riot Games, as he wouldn't have been able to make a company with that name otherwise, and with it comes the rights to Hytale. Or at least he's 99.67% sure of that, he stated. Before this, Simon had vaguely mentioned they were finishing up the deal, so 99% is actually a massive step forward in confidence after only a couple of weeks. And pretty good odds if you ask me. In fact, most of the community has taken this as a downright confirmation, which at this point I think it's pretty safe to assume. Obviously, for legal reasons, he can't say 100% until the very last contract is signed, but you have to admit that despite that, he's doing an admirable job at being transparent with us, quite literally down to the last percent. In fact, he just updated his bio, which previously stated that he sold Hytale to Riot Games in 2020, but now he's added an unfinished ending to that statement, an and ... very likely to be updated with and bought it back in 2025. See, Simon has no reason to do something as small and suggestive as this unless he's very certain. He knew we'd spot this. We have eyes on his account 24/7 like hawks. He's been in the public eye for years. The guy knows how to work a crowd. This is him leaning over the starting line milliseconds before the gun fires. He's hinting that the race is about to start. This isn't even the only tease getting everyone excited for a possible early access soon, as many website domains that were attached to Simon's development team are being discovered daily and continue to be updated. All of these confirm that work is actively happening behind the scenes on a lot of key areas necessary for launching a game, including, of course, the launcher itself, as according to Simon, they made their own already before even getting the game, just to speed things up when it happens. They said they'll start out with the launcher and then investigate Steam later on to see if they can support Hytale's future in-game modding browser and tools. Simon would happily distribute Steam codes to people who already bought Hytale previously on their own store, much like Path of Exile did. Basically, no one will need to regret buying sooner rather than later, and yes, I said buy. If you weren't already aware, Simon has confirmed that you will need to pay to play Hytale's early access, which many were actually hoping for. He even hinted that there will be a range of tiers that you can purchase with perks and cosmetics to go with them. So depending on how passionate about Hytale you are, you can reflect that, likely with clothing kits or special tags. That's what most games usually do. Remember, they are no longer releasing a squeaky clean, fully complete AAA Riot Games production here. Under Simon, they're back to indie. And after all the money he's probably spent on the legal rights to Hytale, the dev team are going to need help funding ongoing development now. And although these tiers will help them, the team isn't waiting around. Notice I mentioned they've already taken action this past month. It's not just the launcher. Simon said the website, auth, accounts, payment system, name reservation, and more are all ready or almost ready. These systems are integral to releasing a game, and we can see the proof that this has been happening from the back-end infrastructure of the Arcanite Games domain, which is Simon's website from before the deal started, as it has been receiving a lot of updates recently. According to community member Allegro, who's been painstakingly tracking this non-stop, there's been significant development, back-end tests, and other updates that suggest the Hytale client is now being prepared. The Hypixel Studios website we mentioned earlier itself appears to be hosted on the Hypixel Studios domain, and we now have official confirmation of the website Hytale.com transferring to Simon's domain as well, which pretty much confirms Simon has got people working in the background on a game project, and considering his studio has no other known titles this close to launch, and that he has the Hytale website, I think it's safe to say Hytale is coming back. The team has even started leaving Easter eggs in all these details for us to decode, such as yahaha, you found me, and are you ready, curse breaker? We're actually not sure what that is referencing, whether breaking curses is going to be part of the updated lore, or more likely a meta reference to breaking the curse of Hytale never coming out. Either way, I do love a double meaning like this, as yes, we, the community, and Simon's team are technically the curse breakers. It was our desire, our hype that drove the Save Hytale movement. Then Simon's ambition and his wallet got us the rest of the way. To summarize how these updates change things though, well, it almost certainly means that Simon will be able to release an early access for Hytale much quicker than we ever expected. Apparently, we're talking within months from now. He did say we'd get it before GTA 6, and that was before it got delayed from May to November 2026, giving us at most 6 months of a timeline here, and according to Simon himself, he aims for as soon as legally possible, wanting to avoid spending more than, quote, a few months. He'd rather get something out at this point. I told you guys, I'm all in. Even if the deal is not done yet, I want to make sure I deliver fast on my promises. Risky investment, but worth it. All of this being prepared ahead of time shows Simon isn't just talk. The deal clearly went very well early on, causing it to be expedited. He has the rights to Hypixel Studios, and now seemingly Hytale.com is waiting on the go-ahead and has been taking initiative by hiring and building the infrastructure out ahead of whatever announcement he has planned in order to save time. Quote, my goal is to bring the game to the players and modders, even in a bad state, as soon as possible. Reality is, I don't want the expectations to grow ever again by delaying, and just think about it. The longer I would wait, the worse it would get. I also would like to see the community involved in the process from early access to full launch. I have taken 0 days off since the start of this process. I will not rest until it's saved. I love doing hard shit, so this is like the best vacation time for me. Despite all this hard work, of course, I can't lie, I do think this is going to ruffle some feathers with people who have been waiting for the game a long time. I get it, there's a timeline out there where we got this version of Hytale many years ago, without any mention of a new engine being needed. And there's even a world where Riot kept up this project and it came out next year maybe, almost feature complete, but honestly, this now seems like the only and the best outcome for Hytale, whether we like it or not. Simon is surely prepared, of course, for all the "we waited 7 years for this" type comments, but with cancellation, it has enabled a resetting of expectations. I mean, realistically, no one was expecting anything anymore. It was cancelled. For months, we grew to accept the game's fate. So while we can definitely express our thoughts, just remember that with iterative development, him updating the game as we go, month in, month out, things can start to improve very quickly. It doesn't take months to get a single feature or item approved, so once early access drops, Simon can take community feedback on board very quickly. In fact, he spoke on this too. He expressed, quote, I'll do my best to bring it closer to the original vision, focus on a survival and RPG game with modding and server support, and then official minigames later on. Which basically straight up answers what we can all expect to begin with. A thick and vast adventure or story mode is something they will build to eventually. First, they're going to give us the ability to walk around, generate worlds, and survive in them, of course, along with all the RPG aspects we've come to expect from the years like combat, magic, factions, and different prefab generations with boss fights. Then, with modding, Simon said this is, quote, very high priority because I understand that with proper tools and content, the community can create content faster than we ever could. At least with custom mobs, blocks, sounds, items, and interactions, he thinks they should all be relatively easy even for people who have never touched code. Long term, he would want node visual scripting, then see if it can be transported in-game easily so that it converts players into modders, which I'm sure modders will understand more than I did. As for the online aspect of the game, he said, I'm not worried on what to do. I have 13 plus years of experience and a vision for it. Considering he's also locking in a lot of the old team members and Java developers who used to work on the legacy engine, it's clear this team is the A team in regards to knowing systems and being passionate enough to get it out. Simon also referred to his silence over the few weeks before this as the calm before the storm, and I joked that this meant he was actually going to move Hytale into Fortnite. He clapped back saying, why do a Fortnite collab when a BR game mode or even better, survival games could be made in Hytale? Everyone in a circle, no landing, Hunger Games style like the good old days. This of course referencing the classic Minecraft servers like MCSG, which hosted survival games maps way back in 2012. As a content creator covering this game and before it working with Minecraft YouTubers for 10 years, this gets me so fucking excited. At this point, my high-level gamer critique is pretty much out the window with this new indie angle as well. As long as it's fun, I just want to experience and make content in the game as it evolves around us, which you'll remember is something I've wanted from the very start. The thought that we can hit the ground running with this channel and build out some custom mini games, filming styles, or even adventure maps and servers one day, potentially even very soon, is something I lost hope for this year. So I'm very appreciative of everyone who does stick around for this rebirth of sorts. And for the lucky people just finding out about Hytale for this video, make sure you do subscribe because we will stream, play, talk about the game and all that non-stop here in the corner. Speaking of modding, by the way, and the whole getting ahead of the release, Simon even asked for people's mod ideas so that they can ensure they add missing features very early. And I mean, this is great to see. They're actually asking the community's advice prior to putting something out in order to dot all their I's and cross all their T's. People flooded in with ideas as well, and you probably still have time to get back and reply with your own. From these, Simon said that for basic base game, he thinks things like weapon customization, immersive automation, city building, and even diverse food systems would all be cool. Specifically, he's looking forward to any RPG, dungeon, leveling, class, or attribute mods. He even wants to add proximity chat support in the future. All these, of course, being things he'd probably work on after early access is already released to us, as he's ensured multiple times. Before we talk about what this means for what's going to happen in the next few weeks, however, I would love to see some more mod ideas in my comments now that people can start getting back into the spirit of Hytale and the creative ecosystem. In fact, we're actually having an art competition for $100 right now on my Discord server, linked in the description. You can submit any form of art as long as it fits the theme of my first Hytale mod. Just make sure to read the rest of the rules. We have a writing competition too, and in general, the thousands of Hytale enthusiasts already in there are becoming more active, chatting in VC and building out plans, so don't miss out. Simon has confirmed that he will open up an official Hytale Discord at some point, but whilst you wait and for specific updates around anything I'm doing, hop in and try to level up from a Quebec. The situation now is that Simon is likely going to continue amping up communication as he approaches the announcement, which I'm willing to bet is very soon. In fact, I've been causing a bit of a stir myself as I've been updating the percentage in my bio to reflect how sure I myself am of Hytale being saved, which many in the community have taken to obsessing over and second guessing and having conspiracy theories with. They've even been tracking and posting Reddit threads every time I make an update. Someone even went as far as to generate entire charts and algorithmic predictions for when my counter would reach 100%. Genuinely, it's just been so fun to see this level of community interaction overall. The subreddits are full of memes, as is Twitter, and hopeful threads where people are consolidating their thoughts and planning what they want to do are appearing everywhere. Everyone is considering the good news. One theory I saw as well that was quite prominent among the community is that something is apparently going to happen with Hytale Thankmas this year, which I'm happy to announce is officially moving forward with a date in December still to be confirmed. For those who don't know, it's our annual charity event that celebrates all things Hytale, and with over $50,000 raised so far for good causes going into our 6th year, I wanted to let everyone know that this event was going to be slightly different just due to some changes to the setup of the event itself, and because obviously we have much less time to prepare it this year, we really weren't sure how we were going to do it. I'll be announcing, of course, all of those changes in the next video, so make sure to look out for that. Now, more than ever, of course, I just advise you keep an eye out. Go watch some of the Hytale videos. It's exciting times once again. As Simon said, just hold a little longer, we are almost home. If you want to learn what Hytale is all about, or just want a quick recap, then make sure you check the video on screen. Thank you as always for sticking with me and subscribing. Stay safe and keep free.
Come in, this is Quebec Gordon. Connor, are you there? I've made it inside. If you can hear this, we need curse breakers, Connor. You need to bring the curse breakers. And make sure they're watching closely.